Oh, Dynamite Delight. I want to make this clear because you see the title, which I'm kind of debating about it, because at the moment now, the title is supposed to be a very fast-paced show. But I'm thinking this show is different. And I'm being honest here. This show is different. All that we got here was a different type of show. Now, I want to make this very clear that being a different type of show, unlike Just Alex or JD, where they may love it, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to tell you that this was the greatest show that AEW put on so far. I'm saying the show is different. We know they got a new person that's running the booking. And when it comes down to it, you can see it. The question is going to be, after Double or Nothing, what are we going to be looking at? Because we are seeing changes to the format of the show. You can just feel it. I'm not going to tell you it's better. I'm not going to tell you it's worse. It is different. That is what the others will not state. They're going to just say, this is the greatest thing. And I think Just Alex, since it was done in Austin, Texas, he might actually be there right now. And he might have been at AEW. But unlike me, they're going to tell you that the show is really good. Some people say it's garbage because it's just people just don't like AEW. I am telling you honestly, you're looking at a different type of show, different feel. That it was more fast-paced. You saw that Renee Raquette was doing interviews out her ass. When it came to how the wrestlers were doing their promos, and I'm not going to cover them all, they were saying them much more differently than they normally would. Even the vid packs were different. Now, mind you, I'm not saying they were better or worse. I'm just saying they were all different. We got a different feel to this show. The question is, how much of a difference is going to be going beyond the pay-per-view? That's the most important thing. Let's go on to the first thing. We got, what exactly do we have here? We got Lee Moriarty and Big Bill versus Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. I don't understand why they went there. I mean, you didn't need to go there when it comes to Darby Allin. Yes, they wanted to spotlight all four of the pillars. Well, the three pillars, actually. The fourth one, MJF, was finally shown at the end of the show, near the end of the show with Renee, what he did with her. But essentially, they wanted to make sure that Darby, they wanted to make sure that J-Boy, Jungle Boy, and a little Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, just had something extra to do. That's what I believe they really wanted. So this is what we got. Now, it was an alright match, and pretty much Orange and Allin won, but I don't believe it was necessary for Darby Allin. I just don't believe it. But they believed it was, and since this is a different feel compared to what we normally would get, it kind of makes some sense. They're trying something different. I'm just saying. Next, we got, Sammy Guevara destroying a Exodus Prime. I have only seen the guy a couple of times. I'm not saying he's great. He's got contacts in. He's trying to be special. And he got his ass clean within 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, he got a GTS to the face. And he was done. And then we got a little promo from Sammy. Now, I'm sure people are going to say this was stupid. Sammy shouldn't have been able to destroy him so fast. But I'm going to say this. They just wanted to get that out of the way. The match was superfluous. They just wanted to show that Sammy was dominant after a long match when it came to Darby Allin. They just wanted to make it quick. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and I'm not saying it's good either, because it would have been better if he just came out. But they wanted to make sure that if he's coming out there, he's got to look like a beast. That's why they did it. And he made it very clear. Look, I know. This is my hometown. This is his hometown. He didn't say it, but this is what it came to me personally. This is my hometown. I'm coming out here basically to let you know I haven't forgotten where I came from. This is where I came from. Up about a couple of miles away is a place I worked at. That's what he was saying. He's saying, I know about the struggle of being here. I know about what I did here. But also want to make it very clear. I also know that I screwed up. I made a lot of mistakes on this journey. And hell, you guys have watched me make these errors in judgment or whatever I've done. But no matter what anybody's told me, I still go with what's in here, what I believe. And I believe I can be world champion. That's all that matters. And what you guys have given me, I'm taking it and I'm going to run with it. That's generally what he was trying to relay, that he appreciated them, not trying to be a total face, but he appreciated them. But he made it very clear, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I don't care what you say. You guys told me I could never make it. Look where I'm at now. I'm going to do the way I'm going to do it. That is the way that he was saying it. Did it come across as a heel? No. Did it come across as a face? Yes. Now, I'm not saying that's the wisest thing to do because he's still part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. But they did go there. That's what they did. Now, let me talk about two things. Wardlow and then Tony Khan. The Wardlow segment. Wardlow calling out a Christian, wanting him to spit him in the face because he said he was going to spit him in the face. He came out, short pants, with the, I don't know, you guys tell me below. Unlike WWE or Impact Wrestling, where they just wear generally, well, WWE will wear the clothes that they're selling. Impact Wrestling, sometimes they wear the clothes they're selling, sometimes they don't. You just wear whatever you want. And AEW, for the guys, they wear those really short pants that cuffs are right near their foot, and they're wearing those shoes. And I'm going like, why? What style are they pushing? I don't know. But Wardlow came out like that, and so did Christian. And Christian was there to spit him in the face because Christian said he would spit him in the face. And what happened? Christian whooped that ass along with Wardlow. Christian did fight a little bit of Wardlow. Luchasaurus fought Wardlow and then kind of got backed off. And then Christian got a little bit more. And then both Christian and I hate that Luchasaurus is not being pushed. But this is what they're doing. And they're setting this up for Double or Nothing for the TNT title. That's where it goes. Is it done bad? No. Do I believe there should be more, especially for a Luchasaurus? Hell yes. But the way they do Impact Wrestling and WWE, on and off, will book their big men correctly. When it comes to AEW, they do not. I'm making it very clear. If you've seen how Lance Archer has been treated, you've seen how Big Bill has been treated, you see how any large man that has been in AEW that should have demolished people and won a title and held it for a while, other than Brody Lee, everybody else has not gotten anywhere. Nowhere. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are as a big guy. You have barely gotten anywhere except for Brody Lee. So that's the way it goes. Now, second thing. We're going to talk a little about Tony Khan, who finally announced Collision. That's supposed to be what? June 17th. It's supposed to come on 8 o'clock. And they're going to be doing their first premiere show. And then they're going to be traveling around every week to a different location for Collision. Now, I'm going to make this clear. I may make a video, a gun report eventually on Collision when it comes out, because I've decided this. When it comes down to it, I'm dropping Rampage. I am not doing it anymore. Very few people were watching Rampage with my SmackDown reviews, because the best way to see them both was for me to do them all at one time and then do a review, and that was like late in the night, and even then nobody wanted to watch it. And even when I did the Rampage the next day, not many people watched it anyway. So I'll still watch it, and maybe if I need to do a video on it the next day, I will talk about it. But other than that, I'm dropping Rampage. I am not doing Rampage ever again. And unless it's something special, which, to be honest, I think they will be eliminating Rampage eventually on TNT. No, TBS. It's on TBS right now, I believe. But essentially, eventually they're going to drop it, I think. This is what you got. It is good to see Collision being booked. And we already know who's going to be the lead of that. And that's supposed to be CM Punk. So the question is going to be with this new person who's in, I believe, booking creative. I can't remember his name. It's White, I believe. I can't remember what the guy's name. no, Washington or White. I think it's Washington. We will see this new person that's involved in the booking and maybe creative, how they're going to book the show. Now, let's make this clear. Was the Chris Jericho and Robert Strom match good? Yes, it was booked very well. Did I enjoy the match? Yes, I did. In the very beginnings, Robert, what was it guy? Is the guy's Robert or Roberts? But pretty much, he's destroying Chris and almost knocked over Alicia Edwards. She almost got knocked over because he was so hyped that he wanted to nail Chris so quickly. The Falls Count Anywhere was not bad. And the key of this was that the Jericho Appreciation Society and Adam Cole were banned from the building. But Strom made it very clear he was going to use his head. Next to almost losing his head in a stairwell when Chris shoved him on that concrete, what was that, like a parapet or something? That's right next to the steps. He whacked his head on that thing a little bit. But essentially, they went outside. And due to the fact they were outside, the terms of the rule of being banned from the building don't apply. We did not see JAS. We just saw an Adam Cole. And Adam Cole helped a little bit of Strowman whoop that ass. And that was it. Was it good? Yes. Was it well booked? Yes. Do you think it's over? No. There's no way Chris and Cole are over until they actually have a match and then a stipulation match. That's what I believe. But tell me below what you think. Now, this is the match that people are going to say, dude, really? I'm going to say, yeah. Got to. Ruby Soho and Toni Storm versus Hito Kushida and Britt Baker. Here's the thing. Good match. We don't see Saraya wrestling much, which I know other people really, they're like, why isn't she wrestling? I think JD at one point said, look, if she's a little fragile or something, fine, you shouldn't be wrestling then. Or he's saying, you finally come back and you can wrestle, but you're barely wrestling. Some people are going to be fine with it. Some people are not. It depends on how they book her. Right now, she looks like she's the manager of the Outcasts. So I'm seeing her as a manager at this point. Now, was it her call? I don't know. But she's a manager at this moment. But here's the thing. Seeing that the match was not bad. It is not about that. Seeing that the Outcasts won. Yes, they had to cheat to do it, but it doesn't matter. That's how the Outcasts do their business. The problem here is no straps, no titles, nothing. There are 2 women's titles that are in AEW. There's a TBS title and the current women's title. And they only focus on one title. One. I'll say it again. One. This is where the women's division still sucks. This match was a lot more fast-paced than normal. You can see they were more into it. You got the right people doing the right match. And the fans were into it. But here's the problem. You have 2 titles that currently is in your show, in your promotion, and you only focus on... Look, when Renee interviewed Tony, she was a lot more intense than normally she is. She made it very clear, I want that damn title. Fuck you. See me as you should see me in the damn ring at Double or Nothing, which they booked. But what about the TBS title? Why not have Ruby Soho try to go back after it, or Britt Baker to go after it, so you can get a Jade Cargill to drop the damn thing? Because what is she doing? She's got, 56 wins? Or 57 wins? I can't remember right now. She's a waste of space. I'm saying it again. A damn good-looking woman who's not bad in the ring, who's improved herself and tried to elevate a title that has no prestige, no history. It was just made. She went from here to about here. The title is at the same level as her. She need to drop that shit. Why didn't they go after her? Tell me. You guys leave me a comment below why. Because as far as I can tell, the booking still isn't good. And Jade Cargill should have dropped that damn title either to a Britt Baker, to Ruby Soho, to a Hikaru Shida, to a, you want to do Athena, hell, to a Thunder Rosa before she got hurt, to a Statlander before she got hurt. As far as I know, she's still hurt. And a fucking Tyra Valkyrie who should have never lost in the first place. And where is she now? Where? Maybe in ROH. I won't know until I watch it on Saturday. But you get my point. This is stupid. Let's move on to Rush and Jungle Boy. It was interesting. You got Rush and Jungle Boy having a really rough match. You got Jungle Boy getting his ass beaten up pretty good, but does win. But then gets beaten down, and then you see the other pillars saving his ass, other than MJF. You see Sammy and Darby saving him. Because they want to make sure he's there, and they have enough respect. You even at one point, and Renee was doing a lot of work, doing a lot of interviews, which you don't see that many of her. She's done a tremendous amount of interviews this show. But you saw earlier that Sammy approached Darby and said, look, you know me and we don't always get along, but I respect you. When it comes down to it, I'm not laying down for Maxwell. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to face you, and no matter if it's me, you, or Jungle Boy, we will see a new champion. Hand bump, they got it. Now, when you see MJF, which kind of piggybacks on that, he was interviewed by Renee, and pretty much she says, now that you have this situation, now that you've seen how things, because he was watching the match between Jungle Boy and Rush, and he knew what was going to happen, she holds the mic to his face, knocked that bitch out of her hand, and she is not happy about that. The person that should get pissed should be guess who? Jon Moxley. So that kind of would make me think, if this wasn't the Four Pillars and he was getting the attitude, seeing John's woman get her mic knocked out of her hand, I think that would have been kind of interesting. But of course, the Four Pillars is going on and they're not going to go there. That's where they're not going to go right now. But you get my point. Let's see here. The last match of the night really was a good match, but really doesn't give anything to Ricky Starks or Jay White yet. Even though Jay White did win because of DQ, because Ricky did hit him in the back with a steel chair due to the fact that we got a little bit of a Juice Robinson constantly interfering. The question is, what does Bullet Club Gold get out of this? What does Ricky Stark get out of this? I don't know yet. I have no clue what these three men are going to gain from this. I don't know. Maybe something will be elaborated later. Final thing will be clearly the Don Callis segment, which was very short, and the most important thing was right afterward. Don made it very clear. Kenny, he comes out, is interviewed by a Tony Schiavone. He says, why? And he sticks it in his face, and he says, Kenny wouldn't be anything without me. Who did his IWGP World title? That was me. I got it lined up. Who did him and Chris at the Tokyo Dome? That was me. Who was the one that made sure when he arrived in this show that he was the first true, real champ? Because he already won the Omega Championship, then he won the Impact Championship, and he won this. It was me. All me. But at that point, you see a little bit of Omega come out, mad as hell. Security's trying to stop him. But then Don disappears. Blackpool Combat Club took out the Bucks earlier. Then they took out a little bit more of Kenny. And made it very clear when they jumped into the ring. This is all ours. We are the true elite. You're nothing. At least until the 1.0 elite comes out, since they're 2.0, and you get Matt, Nick, and a returning Adam Page with an eye patch. Good. He's going along with character because Moxley did it, so there's no problem why Hangman shouldn't do it. And what was it? I can't remember who else had an eye patch. I can't remember. I know I'm blanking, but when you see this and you see the beatdown, it was good. We finally get them together, and now they're supposed to have an anarchy match at Double or Nothing. What does that mean? Is that going to be a steel cage? Is it going to be like a War Games match? It's not going to be It's not going to be a stadium stampede match. What does an anarchy match mean? Could it be a Full Metal Mayhem match like in Impact Wrestling? I don't know. All I know is that they want this match, and now the Elite against the Blackpool Combat Club is going to happen. But the question is, what is it? Maybe they'll elaborate in the next couple of weeks. Well, they only got one more week left, so they're going to have to elaborate it this coming week on this Dynamite and Rampage. But that's just me. I hope you really enjoyed this show. Honestly, this show was a different feel. Good or bad. I think that might be the title. The show was a different feel, good or bad. This is it. Peace.